Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today we're taking a look at Bergen Town Center in Paramus, New Jersey. As always, I'm asking the question, is this a dead mall, a dying mall, or is it doing just fine? Well, come along with me and let's find out. This mall opened in 1957 as the Bergen Mall. It was designed by John Graham Jr. and was developed by All Stores Realty Corporation, which was a division of Allied Stores. When the mall first opened, it was an open-air mall, which was popular at the time. Originally, there was only one anchor store, Stearns. The mall's second anchor store, Orbox, didn't open until 10 years later in 1967. The mall didn't become fully enclosed until it underwent its first major renovation between 1972 and 1973. From what I've read, though, after this renovation, the mall didn't really get any further significant upgrades or renovations until about 2006 or so. By the early 90s, the mall had become a value-oriented shopping center, unlike the much less value-oriented neighboring malls. And according to one of my favorite mall websites, labelscars.com, by the early 2000s, this mall was really starting to show its age and appears to have been generally thought of as a dying mall, if not a dead mall. Here's some pictures from the early to mid-2000s showing severe water damage to the ceiling tiles and just an overall drab design that was clearly stuck in the 70s. By this point, it became clear that if something wasn't done soon, this mall might become a truly dead mall and eventually go out of business entirely. Luckily, in 2003, the mall was sold by its then current owner, Simon Property Group, to Vornado Realty Trust, and Vornado quickly got to work on plans to completely renovate and revamp the mall. In 2006, the Paramus Planning Board approved the $171 million expansion plan. The mall was renamed Bergen Town Center, and the renovations began. The plan was to add higher-end retailers, outlet-type stores, and turn the mall into a so-called town center where most of the stores could be accessed directly from the parking lot, rather than needing to walk through the entire mall to get where you wanted to go. In 2010, they changed the name of the mall to the Outlets at Bergen Town Center, but then changed the name back to Bergen Town Center in 2020. One of the first things that jumped out to me about this mall was how tall the doorways and ceilings were in the stores. They're almost comically large. And I don't know why they're that large, but let me know if you were here before the renovation in 2006, 2007. Were the doorways and ceilings that high before, or was this part of the redesign? Not surprisingly, the mall does not have any water fountains today, but when the newly enclosed mall opened in 1973, from what I understand, there was a rather impressive water fountain just about where we are right now. I couldn't find any pictures of it, but from what I've read, it was a dandelion-style fountain that looked almost exactly like the El Alamein fountain in Sydney. I did find a picture of this fountain, though, which was supposedly somewhere in this mall. I'm not sure if it's the same fountain, but just based on the colors and the design, it's very clearly from the 70s. And I would say it's probably the most 1970s fountain I've ever seen. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall and store videos coming up. Thanks. Overall, this mall is very well maintained, but I think somebody needs to clean the fish tank. That looks pretty bad. The Burlington Coat Factory opened in 2019, and I think the Whole Foods on the right opened in 2009. This Marshall's opened in 1994, and I think it replaced a store called J.J. Newberry that apparently had been there since opening day. This is probably the smallest second floor of a mall I've ever seen. Coming up on the right, where the Kohl's is today, was the location of the original anchor store Stearns. It was there from 1957 until 2001. In 2001, it became a Macy's. The Macy's closed in 2005. In 2006, it became a department store called Century 21, which lasted until 2020. And I don't know about you, but I've never heard of Century 21 before as a department store. I always think of them as the real estate company, so that's a new one to me. And then that Kohl's moved in 2022. Alright, now let's head down to the lower level. And down here, there used to be something that I really wish I could have seen with my own eyes. Originally, it was something called Kitty Lane Victorian Village, but in 1975, it was turned into Village Square, later renamed Village Mall, and it was essentially a mall within a mall. It's really hard to describe what it was like, so here's some photos that were taken between the 1970s and the early 2000s. At its height, there were about 60 vendors, but by the early to mid 2000s, it was almost entirely vacant. And I think if you're familiar with the concept of the back rooms, you'll probably agree that the Village Mall would have made an amazing backrooms level. Now, I'm not sure, but I think the entrance to the Village Mall would have been approximately where this doorway is today. I could be wrong, so if I am, let me know. But the understanding I have is that it went underneath that area where they had the fish tank. That would have been where the mall was, underneath that. Straight ahead where the Target is today was the location of the mall's original second anchor store, Orbox, which was here from 1967 until it closed in 1986. It was replaced by Steinbach's in 1987. The Steinbach's closed in 1996 and was replaced by Value City in either 96 or 97. And the Value City finally closed in 2006. From what I understand, the building remained vacant for a while and was finally demolished sometime around 2007 or 2008. I'm not sure on the exact date. This current building was completed by 2009, and that's when the Target opened.
I'll see you guys later, okay?
So now back to the question of, is this a dead mall, a dying mall, or is it doing just fine? I think this is one of the rare examples of a mall that was initially thriving, then got to the brink of being a dead mall, and then was able to completely reinvent itself and become a thriving mall once again. So I'd say that this mall is clearly doing just fine, and I'm basing that on it's well maintained, there's a decent number of customers, I didn't see any vacant stores, and I just don't see any indications that this mall is struggling in any way. But I've only been here once, so I could be wrong. And if I am, let me know in the comments. Now, no mall visit would be complete without taking a ride in the glass elevator. For some reason, though, the button to go down did not seem to be working. I pressed it a few times and nothing came up. So I did end up going around. I took the escalator down, and then I was able to come back up in the elevator. So stay tuned for that. Alright, well don't go anywhere yet. Like usual, I'm going to do a drive around of the mall next, and we can see what it looks like from the outside. Here's the Target building, which was built in 2009. And like I mentioned earlier, this is the location of where the original second anchor store, Orbox, was located. But that building was torn down back in the late 2000s. This building here was originally the Stearns, and then the Macy's, and then the Century 21, and then today it's the Kohl's. Here's what it looked like back when it was Stearns, and then here's what it looked like when it was Century 21. There is a parking garage here, but luckily I didn't need to use it because there was plenty of free parking at ground level, and there were lots of open spaces, so I didn't have to go in there, which is a good thing because it is pay to park, which is probably my least favorite part of going to malls, having to pay for parking. And there you have it. That's Bergen Town Center in Paramus, New Jersey. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs, flea markets, and occasionally some abandoned location videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.